This is Sollog, Rabbi Sollog. This is my site, Sollog.com. Written over 100 books. Dr. Adoni is how a lot of people know me. This is my site, Adoni.com, SOLADONI.com. Known for discussing the Mandela effects. This is my book on Mandela effects. You can go to mandelaeffectsplural.org. This is my theory from 40 years ago, computer universe theory, which is also known as holographic universe theory. Computeruniversetheory.com is my book on, why the Mandela effects are happening. And holographicuniverses.com is also my theory from 40 years ago that, basically the universe, the material world, is illusional. It's inside a AI level computer. 40 years ago, that was a wild theory. Today, it's pretty much cutting edge physics. As far as the Mandela effect that I'm going to speak about today, it's the Lord's Prayer. If you go to Bible Hub, you can look up Matthew 6:12, and that's the line that everybody is saying has changed. Now, Bible Hub has most of the popular Bibles in it. The main Bible, the most popular by far, is King James. And in Matthew 6:12, says, "Forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors." A lot of people say that's been changed. Now, the thing about the New Testament is almost everything that's major is put in at least two Gospels. So the same prayer is also in Luke. And if you want to go to see the difference in Luke, you can see in the King James, "Forgive us our sins as we forgive everyone that's indebted to us." So there's always in the New Testament contradictory versions. And this isn't new. As a young boy, I went for a few years to a Catholic school. And I would always debate the nuns, to the contradictions. Not in the Lord's Prayer, but things like, was Jesus hung on a cross? Was he hung on a tree? So these contradictions have been around for my whole life, which is over 50 years, almost 60 years. Just like the genealogy of Jesus. As long as I can remember, there's been contradictions in the genealogy. Now, as a young child, we had to go to catechism before we could make our first communion, and we were taught the Lord's Prayer out of the catechism book. And if you go to catechisms of the Catholic Church, they do teach you trespasses. So this is the Vatican, Vatican.va. All these links are going to be in this video so you can see that the Catholics do teach that this prayer is supposed to be trespasses. Yet, there is no modern Bible from the NIV to King James to American Standard and the Catholic Bible, the Douay-Rheims. None of them say trespasses. Matthew is debts, Luke is sins. And you can go to the oldest versions of these Bibles. In this reality, these are the words that are there. Now, there's a lot of Christians that are not Catholic who most likely learned these prayers out of the Bible. So the question is, what Bible had trespasses in it? Right now in this universe, they're saying no Bible has trespasses in it. The Vatican says it's supposed to be trespasses. You can go to catholicorg.org, and their prayer, which is a video on YouTube, and again we'll have links at the bottom to all these different things, and you can hear,
"Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us."
So the Catholic prayer is still trespasses, but there's no Bible that has these words in it. How long has that been reality? Well, talking to people who are Christian today, who are not Catholic, most of them do remember trespasses. Yet there's not one biblical reference to it, with one exception. And this is a Bible that almost no one has access to. It's the first Bible written in English, which is the Tyndale Bible from 1526. So again, there's a link to this page, and you can see in that first Bible that put the New Testament into English by William Tyndale, who was then burnt at the stake for blasphemy for putting the Bible into the vulgar language of English. He clearly has trespasses. So in this old English Bible, you can see, forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those that trespass against us. So that's William Tyndale. This is it on another site that isn't the actual book, of facsimile. And you can see here, forgive us our trespasses as we forgive our trespassers. So that is the only Bible that I've found that has trespasses in it. I know the New Testament has, every gospel contradicts each other. One says the tree Jesus was hung on, one says a cross. The genealogies are all different, and that's been going on forever. Now, I have studied the Bible, written a lot of books about the Bible, and the big thing that I'm saying happened is the Messiah verses have been erased in the Old Testament. The only Old Testament today that has the word Messiah in it is King James. It's only in 2 verses. Daniel, and it turns Cyrus, the king of Babylon, into the Messiah in Daniel. There's 2 verses. Other than that, there's not an Old Testament with Messiah in it. You go to MessiahErased.com, and it is my belief that recently the Bibles were altered, so the word Messiah was changed. A lot of other passages people remember being changed. The lion and the lamb is now the wolf and the lamb. The verses about judge not, a lot of people swear these have been changed. There's a lot of other things in everyday life that have been changed, from movie lines and book titles and songs, and, a whole plethora of things. People's memories are not the same. Now, the Lord's Prayer is the dominant prayer in Christianity, and it was given by Jesus in red ink in, the King James versions. Yet everybody remembers trespasses. So the question is, why does everybody remember trespass? There's no biblical authority other than the Tyndale Bible from 1526 that has those words still in it. So it's my belief it was most likely changed, because you can't have all these Christians who had never studied the Catholic Catechism to have been exposed to that word. They would have been exposed to it in the Bible most likely, and King James would have been the dominant one. So yeah, most likely, it was in King James, and it's been changed. It's the only way you can explain how non-Catholic Christians all remember trespass. Nothing about debts, nothing about whatever. So things are changing. If you want to see some videos on this, you can see the Pope saying the Our Father, and he looks clueless. I mean, he's struggling with it. So you can see this video here. You know, he's really struggling when you... Most of the prayer, he doesn't even move his lips. It's like he's looking at a piece of paper that he's confused on. So this is an interesting video. You can look for yourself. Another thing about the Pope is he does want to change the Lord's Prayer. So here's a Fox News story video.
Francis, that has people sort of turning their heads a little bit on this one. The leader of the Catholic Church suggesting that the Lord's Prayer, the best-known prayer in Christianity, which is prayed by not thousands, as I said earlier, but 2.2 billion people around the world, may undergo a little bit of an edit. He says the phrase, "lead us not into temptation," suggests that God induces temptation in his followers, and "do not let us fall into temptation" would be more acceptable and close.
So this was December of 2017. Pope Francis says, look, this prayer, not the trespass part, has to be changed. It's in all the Bibles, as now debts or sins. So he's not talking about that, but he's saying the next verse about lead us not into temptation should be let us not fall into temptation, instead of God leading you into it. So there's a lot of controversy around this prayer, just like this guy's being hit real hard. You know, a lot of top clerics in the Vatican are coming out. He has to resign because he knew about the pedophilia problem in Pennsylvania for years. So Pope Francis is under fire. Look at his videos trying to say the Lord's Prayer. The guy can't even say it. It's really shocking that the Pope can't say the Lord's Prayer. Again, Tyndale does have trespass in it, but no one has access to that Bible. Okay, that Bible's in museums. I have a facsimile of it. Facsimiles are online. There's a link there. So, people, there's a lot of stuff changing as people remember it. Yes, a lot of people remember trespasses, and it's just simply not in any Bible. I mean, you can go to Bible Hub and list every major Bible there, and you don't find one that has trespasses in it. Now, they don't have Tyndale on this Bible Hub just because, you know, it's an archaic Bible that only scholars would have access to, but, you know, NIV, American Standard, King James, New King James, none of them have trespasses in it. And you can go look online at the 1611 King James. It's not in there either. So people, yes, there are things changing in the Bible. Go to MessiahErased.com. Go to MandelaEffects.org. And all the things that are changing are discussed there. This is Sollog, a.k.a. Dr. Saul Adoni. Have a great day.
He speaks, the ground shakes. He speaks, the mountains smoke. He speaks, kings and queens die.